And now to a man who's not afraid to tell you what you need to do to keep the planet he lives on clean.
Take your food scraps out to your compost pile. Screw in a compact fluorescent light bulb. Turn on a window fan instead of an air conditioner. Low flow, baby. Shower heads and toilets. Take one napkin at Starbucks instead of 6.
Mike Nowak.
Welcome to another installment of the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Environmental Report. I'm Mike Nowak, and you can hear me live each Sunday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Central Time on Q4 Radio, which streams at www.quenumeral4.org and on the Q4 Radio Facebook page. You can also get my podcasts at MikeNowak.net, MikeNowak.net. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet today. I have two quick stories. What do you want first, the good news or the bad news? Oh, let's go with the bad news so we can finish on an up note. According to the Smithsonian, there are about 900,000 different kinds of living insects that we know about, and that accounts for approximately 80% of the world's species. Are you with me so far? But those are just the species that we've managed to study. Some people think the number is closer to a couple of million. A guy named Terry Irwin, who works for the Smithsonian Institution's Department of Entomology and Latin American Forest Canopies, thinks that number is more like 30 million. It's also quite likely that insects have the largest biomass of the terrestrial animals. Humans are looking to push their numbers to 9 billion by the middle of the century, but we're pikers. It's estimated that there might be as many as 10 quintillion individual insects alive. Think about that for a couple of seconds while you're trying to fall asleep. That's where the bad news comes in. According to an article in Environment 360 from Yale University, insect populations are declining all over the planet. The story notes a 2014 study in the journal Science where, quote, lead author Rodolfo Durzo, an ecologist at Stanford University, developed a global index for invertebrate abundance that showed a 45% decline over the last 4 decades, end quote. If you've been paying attention, you already know about the decline of the monarch butterfly and our honeybees. So what's causing this drop in population? Yawn. The usual suspects: pesticides, the spread of monoculture crops such as corn and soybeans, the overuse of nitrogen fertilizer, urbanization, and habitat destruction. Nothing to see here. Move along. So, who pays the price for this decline? Well, birds, for one, who love to snack on insects. And for another, mammals and reptiles and amphibians, oh my, that rely on the nourishment of insects. And human beings, who are up the food chain a bit but are woefully unaware of the damage they are causing and probably won't be until it's too late. All right, now I'm just sad. Let's move on to the good news. Back in the day, when schools in America weren't obsessed by making students pass tests and actually taught stuff, we all learned that 3/4 of the planet was covered by water. And we said, wow. Then we were taught that most of that water was too salty to drink, and we said, bummer. The environmental magazine NCEA explains that desalination has been the holy grail of making ocean water drinkable, but microorganisms in seawater have always found a way to clog the membranes through which salt water was being pushed. That meant costly chemical cleaning. Until scientists at the Zuckerberg Institute for Water Research in Israel, no, not that Zuckerberg, figured out how to use porous lava stone to capture the microorganisms before they reached the membranes. Voila! Potable water. NCEA explains that Israel, which was in the middle of a 900-year drought, sounds positively biblical, doesn't it? now gets 55% of its water from desalination. And if this technology can be shared throughout the Middle East, perhaps, just perhaps, some of the political and social pressure caused by severe water shortages could be eased. And if that happens, well, who knows? That's my report for today. I hope you catch the Mike Nowak Show on Q4 Radio, QUE4.org, which you can always link to at my website, MikeNovak.net. Go green or go home. I need a drink of water.